Newsfeed, you see it, you get a link, you send it to someone. If you aren't web access, don't worry, you SMS someone, or you just call someone. People are so much more connected now, and I don't just mean countries with broad scale broadband. I mean, everyone is connected. How many handsets are on sale in India already? I think there's 400 million handsets in India, something like that. People can call each other. And it's a very big part of sharing the conversation. So what we say is this. We say the communications world has changed quite dramatically from the days when certainly I was growing up. I started working with Procter & Gamble, and we would ensure huge amounts of effort over a TV commercial. We would all agonize over every element of it, and we would then put it out there and say, aha, haven't we done well? And then we would, I recall, test that commercial, and if people bought more washing up liquid in the following 6 months, we would blame the ad and say, wasn't it wonderful? But now, most people are not sitting around watching television in some kind of secure way. We know this, a lot of us see this in our business lives already. A lot of people are sharing information with each other. There's a lot of peer-to-peer communication, and the brand is really, frankly, in the middle of that conversation, not really leading it anymore. And to be honest, advice and recommendations have been one of the strongest influences of brand choice forever. How much more likely are you to believe your neighbor's experience of an airline, of a holiday company, of an insurance company, of a car, of a coffee, whatever it may be, than an ad? The answer is a lot more. This is from our sister company, Zenith. 318,000 interviews worldwide over the last 6 years. Over 311 different projects looking at what is the biggest single influencer on people. And as you can see, advice and recommendation is right up there. Certainly, mass media takes quite a second or third place to that point of sale. So the power of conversation is growing very quickly. Here's the same research used by the other division of the Publicis Group on the media side, Starcom, where they've taken 100 what they call MCA analyses around the world and looked at the power of TV advertising over time, 2002 to 2006, against word of mouth. Quite interesting. Now clearly, let's be careful, word of mouth doesn't just happen. Word of mouth has to be stimulated. So I am not saying TV advertising is not working. What I'm saying is it's not enough on its own a lot of the time. A lot of the time you need to be mindful of what you're trying to stimulate. I don't know if any of you know this lady, but about 6-7 weeks ago she burst onto the scene as a finalist in a British talent show, or untalent show, however you see it. 5 million people watched the show. It had 1 OTS. If you think of it in advertising terms, 1 OTS. Within 2 weeks, 100 million downloads on YouTube. I've been making presentations in other countries, and I can put that picture up on screen within 2 weeks of that talent show in one country, and everyone in the room knew someone who knew what we were talking about. Because suddenly, this extraordinary lady, who was the antithesis of what a classic talent show would produce, was talked about. It was spread everywhere. Everyone wanted to hear the incredible voice of someone who didn't look like what talent shows normally produce. And you know, it's not just positive stuff, it's also negative stuff. I use this obviously slightly carefully. I'm probably slightly more circumstantial about using it in France, where I live. But President Sarkozy, when he came to power, had a lot of habits and practices that affected a number of brands. He had a penchant not only for supermodels, but also for reflective Ray-Bans and Rolex watches. Now imagine, you're the Rolex brand manager. You have worked with your agency for years over what color, green, what kind of green, this shot, what should it be? Should we use Roger Federer this time, or should we use a nice shot? Where should we shoot the shot? The agency will charge you a fortune for the shot. How should it be produced? You can imagine the hours of agonizing. They then run the print ad. What happens? The president that the French started to know as President Bling Bling goes and wears one. And the brand image is already in a different place automatically. And that image is sent around the world and suddenly is way outside of the place where the ad ran in the first place. And the ad itself is merely trying to infer